Okay, so we're going to upload our design. Okay, I know this is the file that we are looking for. Okay, so it has uploaded our designs here. So you can see that I have put in a piece of half-used material. I am going to select medium maple plywood. What the material I have in here is 1/8 Baltic birch. But for this, I'm going to be using some scoring, and I use the settings for medium maple plywood for scoring on this material. The other thing I'm going to do is click our 3 dots and hit set focus, and then I'm going to set focus on our material here. And then we need to decide our settings. So up top here are just my instructions. Anything in green we ignore, in purple we engrave, in red we cut, and in blue we score. So I can actually ignore these instructions. This large token I'm actually going to delete because I'm going to use it on the actual lid after. For the actual circles, these are in red. We are going to cut these, and the settings I use for this material are 165, 100. Okay, so for cutting, I use the 165, 100. For the words, we are scoring these, and I'm going to use the settings for medium maple plywood for that. So I just need to move these around so that they'll fit on my sheet. Can group each line together. Then I'll be able to move things more efficiently. So for example, I want to move this up. I'm going to zoom in just a bit. And this isn't quite the edge of my material up top. I mean, it's pretty close, but I can get pretty close to that border. I do like to leave a little bit of space though, because I find the greatest risk of flames are actually at the edge. So I tend to waste a little bit more material just for safety. Because sometimes if your masking is hanging over the edge, and then you try to cut there and the laser just hits the masking when it's not adhered to the wood, it will catch on fire. So I tend to err on the side of caution and just waste a little bit more material to avoid that. Okay, now I can move some of this over. And these ones can be fairly close together. Again, you'll want to leave just a tiny bit of space so that way it doesn't cut your line above. I might leave just a tiny bit more space. And I think it's individual preference of how much space you want to leave in between. I think some people leave more than others. Okay, for this one, I'm just going to move it over a little bit. Okay, so we did fit them all on this sheet. Okay, we'll hit ready. So these shouldn't take super long time because it's scoring. and not engraving. But it is a lot of cutting, so it's going to take 25 minutes. Flashing blue light, so we will press this. Because this is going to take 25 minutes, I am not going to video the whole thing. Okay guys, I'll come back when it's finished. A little progress update. I'm realizing that these are quite large in fact. I made them 2 inches, so you could scale them down to reduce time. I also realized that I believe there's 30 here and it's meant to just have 25, but I included 5 as alternates. For example, like one of them says no fighting with a sibling, and if the child does not have a sibling, that's one of the ones you would potentially sub out. So I am cutting 30, but in reality you would be cutting 25. However, you still have to factor in the time for the lid, so I think that kind of makes up for the 30. So I think in total it'll take about 25 minutes. But if you make them smaller, you could reduce that time significantly. Okay, thought I'd give another little update. Looks like all of the scoring is done, and it looks like the laser has just started cutting. See you in a bit. So I think that's the last one that it's cutting. So they all turned out pretty good. There is one that I'm going to fix on the SVG because it didn't print properly, but I will fix that. So a bunch of them fell out when I moved the sheet over, and I'll just show you. On the sheet, the rest are just an easy poke out. Just an easy poke out. And then poke out of the wood. Okay. So I did reprint the one that didn't print properly. So the file will come with the new and improved one. I'm just going to remove the masking for these. So I'm just peeling off some Gorilla Tape. Okay, so I'm just using my Gorilla Tape to attach to the token and then pull off the masking tape. You'll see there's some little pieces left. So you just press on them. Making sure to get all the little pieces out. So I'm just going to continue to do that for the rest. Typically go over once to get the big piece off, and then I'll get some new tape and get off all the smaller pieces. Okay, so for this one I actually had to remove the crumb tray, and I just put some wood there as a placeholder. I've placed the lid in here. I just tried to kind of line it up in the middle like being here, but we'll see how it turns out. We're gonna go to dashboard, We're gonna upload our file again of the dad token. So we already printed all the dad tokens, and now we are going to do the lid for the tokens. So we already printed all the tokens. Now we're gonna do the lid for the tokens. So I'm actually just gonna delete all of this because we don't need any of it. The only thing that I need is this here, and it's already sized to the appropriate container. I'm gonna change this to medium draft board. We are gonna hit our set focus and go in on our material. So our outer circle, we are going to ignore it because we're not cutting it. It's just to help us align our image. The dad's tokens and the heart is engrave. And I'm gonna do manual settings for engrave. I'm gonna do it as 1,100, okay, 270, sure. And then for scoring, I'm just gonna let it score on the medium draft board settings. And we've already set our focus. Now we're going to align our circle as best we can. I think that looks pretty good. So we are gonna hit ready. Okay, so you can see our blue light flashing. We're going to press that. Okay, so at Dollar Tree they have 2 different size containers that you can do. I tried fitting 25 tokens in here, and it does fit if they go in a certain way. However, just to be safe, I am going to make mine using the larger. And you can, oh, it's from Dollarama, sorry. So I'm just going to peel this sticker off. Unfortunately, this part is not coming off as easy, but I will just work away at it. And I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so you can see I got all the actual sticker off, but you can see there's a lot of glue residue. So what I'm gonna do is take a piece of paper towel and rubbing alcohol. I'm just gonna put some rubbing alcohol on my paper towel. And that will break down the adhesive left on the glass. So you can see all the adhesive is gone. I'm going to take my 25 tokens, place them in our jar, and with the lid. And then you have this cute little Father's Day gift. You can fit them in the small container, depending on how they go in. But you can see if they're standing up, the lid doesn't go on fully. However, if you were to lay them down, your lid will close. So just because I don't want people to struggle with that, I am using the large container. And there you go.